Zdravej!
Dobar den.
And welcome back to our little Bulgarian adventure.
Yes, from a chillier Bulgaria this week.
It's definitely been chillier, but not such a variation in temperature.
No.
So we've been a constant around about 11 degrees.
Yes,
dropping off.
But a bit wet.
Very wet, yeah. We've had wettest period we've had since we've been here.
Yeah.
So I think we've had about 3 or 4 days where we've had rain every day, and a couple of those days we've had constant rain.
Yeah. And accompanied with the wind, it's wall-to-wall walnuts down by our front gate.
Yeah. We have hundreds of walnuts.
Yes. We had our first Bulgarian walnut collector come round this week. Waved to us and asked if he could pick up some walnuts from outside. We of course said yes. There's far more than we need.
Yeah, and he did a really little nut-touching gesture, didn't he?
Yeah, and he went...
He said, take what you want. But yes, every time we go out in the car now, it's a good 15 minutes just clearing the drive of walnuts.
Yeah, I don't like to run them over.
Yes, no doubt the kittens are all still doing well. You can probably hear them in the background.
Yeah, they're looking for Mum, who's come to have a little rest with us. Having a zig.
Yes, they've taken a lot of time this week.
They have. They've got bigger, they've got more active.
Yeah, we've had to come up with ideas for kitten-proofing our hallway and kitchen.
Yes.
Like all small things, they decided that Pechka was the most, when it was on, was the most interesting thing to get to. So
yeah.
Trying to keep them away from that.
And as the more observant of you will have noticed, the Pechka's now in place. There's the chimney and the heat panels.
Yeah, it has.
And there's the Pechka.
We've had it on a couple of times, only for a couple of hours.
Yeah.
Just to test that it was working okay.
Yeah. And I gave the chimney a bit of a clean with this gadget I've got, which you'll see more of next week. I've got to do the make sure the chimney for our bedroom's properly sorted. They are noisy, aren't they?
Really noisy. They've been silent when we switched this camera on.
Of course, that's kittens for you.
And
yes.
Ziggy definitely had a day when she wasn't well.
No. So, but she's now back to good form.
Yeah, she literally wouldn't have anything to do with the kittens. It was, I've had enough of them.
Yeah, just take them away, please. We looked after her, and now she's looking after them. So
yeah, she's back looking after them again now. But there was one day when we was suddenly thinking we're going to have to go and buy milk bowls.
Yeah, and start feeding these kittens by hand.
She won't go near them. She's just had enough.
And as per last week, there'll be a short montage of kitten footage at the end.
Yeah, they are just starting to eat solid food. Calico leading the way again there.
Yes, a bit of a trailblazer she is.
Yeah, so she started eating. The others not so much, but
no, but they'll get there.
They'll get there.
But last week they just about made it out of the box. This week we can't keep them in the box.
And it is dicing with. We've had to buy a nightlight for our hallway because if you come out the bedroom in the night and it's dark, you just don't know what you're treading on.
Yeah. It could be kittens, it could be something else.
Yeah. No, they've also started using literature.
They have. They're beginning to learn what they do, where they do it. So.
But yeah. It will be joyful when they're a bit bigger.
Yeah.
Less under your feet.
So, as they're so active now, I've been taking refuge down in our bedroom, carrying on with the renovation. Almost finished the ceiling, and this is how far we've got. This is how we left the ceiling at the end of the last video. I now have all the plasterboard up. We're now at the stage where all the plasterboard's up on the ceiling. We now need to fill the screw holes and the gaps between the plasterboard and the edges, and then it's ready for plastering. There are some areas where the gap's wider than others. These will need to be filled before we tape them. These end joints will also need filling before taping. So that's the next job. These joints are a lot closer. They won't need filling at this point, but when they're taped, they'll be taped and then they'll be plastered over before the final coat. You can see now that I've started filling the cracks. This is just the first layer before I put the tape on. I've also started filling the screw holes. The The final bit of filling will be doing these edge pieces up into the corner. I left that till last because I think it's going to be the most difficult. I've now filled all the screw holes. I filled the wider gaps along the factory edge, as they call it, and I've done the end joints. So now I've got to tape the ceiling. I've finished taping and sealing the joints in the plasterboard on the ceiling. The next job is to fill the edges, which I haven't finished filling yet, and then apply the plaster. All the screw holes are filled, so they should disappear once the plaster is applied. We've filled the gaps around the top now, at the edges, which means we're now ready to put the plaster on the ceiling. I've had a problem with plastering the ceiling. You can see there it says they're not to be used under 10 degrees. Air or surface temperature. Currently, we're at 9.3 air temperature and the walls are colder. So I'm going to have to switch from doing the ceiling to filling some of the cracks in the walls.
One of the issues we came up against this week is that it's now getting a bit too cold to use some of the filler.
Yes, so we're having to adapt the jobs we do depending on the temperature outside or inside.
Or inside. Because we've got no heating down that end of the house yet,
not
so until our little Petra goes in.
And we were planning on not lighting that until the bedroom was finished, but we might cheat a bit and use that to warm the room up so that we can
get the plastering
done.
And also it'd be a good test for it. So
well, yeah.
That's the plan next week, is checking the other chimneys clear, which it should be. We didn't use it last year at all. Yeah. And we do need to just make sure nobody's built a nest in there or something.
That's right, yeah. Yes, Operation Driving Licence is going from strength to strength. Stage 2 is complete. They've been sent away to the apostle people. They've been notarised, they've been apostilled, and they've been returned to Samantha, our daughter. And I'm doing one of my ridiculous runs back to England to go and pick it up.
Yeah, straight there and back in one day.
Yeah, I'll leave Varna at 20 past 6 on Monday morning and get back in at 2:30 or 3 o'clock on Tuesday morning.
But he's just sitting down all day, so it's not really difficult.
Not really. And I get to see the grandchildren.
Yeah, he does, which is really, really annoying.
Yes, we've had a thing with Wizz Air. We have some credits in Wizz Air, but you have to be the account holder to be able to use those credits. So whereas we were going to send Lynn back for a couple of days, because it's in my name, I had to use them. So if anyone from Wizz Air is watching, can you change that?
Yeah, you should just be allowed to pay for them, shouldn't you?
Yeah. But rules is rules, I guess. So.
Ridiculously cheap flights though.
Yes, there and back for 40 lev.
Yeah.
So less than £20.
So.
That's both ways. Fully inclusive.
But with no luggage.
With no luggage, it's just me and a carry-on bag, which I can use to bring back our Marmite and other English goodies that we
Marmite, Coleman's mustard, sage and onion stuffing.
And prawn cocktail crisp for Max.
Yes, that's Max's request.
Yes, so that's Monday.
And I think then after that we'll be full back to the bedroom next week.
Yes, I'm hoping by the end of next week to have the ceiling plastered and most of the walls done. Hoping to. It all depends.
And then it'll just be the floor.
And then the floor. But I'm looking forward to the floor. I think I know what I'm doing with that.
He says now.
Watch this space.
I'm sure there'll be a trauma.
I'm sure they will. But
the other thing the weather stopped us doing this week was I finally got to the nursery.
yes.
So I managed to spend my birthday money on some perennial plants for the garden. But because it's been raining all week, it's been really difficult to get them in. So that'll be something I hope we can get on top of next week.
Yeah, so next week we should be able to show you some plantings, if that's the right term.
So that's about it for this week.
Yes, it's been slow but steady progress, and we'll just continue in that vein until the bedroom's finished.
We will.
So until next week,
Doskaro.
Doskaro, stay safe, and we'll see you then.
Bye.
Bye.